Hey everyone, Kim Levinsky here for vlog number 2 of the Tahoe 200. And tonight I want to talk with you a little bit about training and about gear. So over the last few months, I've been building up a good base with a weekly schedule of around 50 miles or so. And that schedule has been Tuesday, Thursdays doing runs of like 6 to 10 miles out in the trails. Wednesdays been alternating between a speed workout on the track and hill workout. And then Saturday, Sunday has been longer runs. So there have been some run ventures sprinkled in there over the last few months. A couple of them including the Grand Canyon rim to rim to rim. You can check out a video also on the YouTube channel of that happened in April just a few weeks ago. And then I've done some really other fun adventures, including the Grand Canyon of Pennsylvania, ironically, is the West Rim Trail. Did that with my friend Kaylin Hopkins and Jessica Simeo. There's also a video on that. And just some other local trails here. We've got some nice mountains in northern New Jersey and obviously in New York as well. So over the next few weeks, I'm going to be doing some more run ventures. I'm very, very excited about that. I love getting out onto the mountain and out there with friends or solo and just exploring the trails that we have here. Obviously, I love racing. I'm a race director, but I really, really enjoy doing self-supported efforts out in the mountains. So the next one is actually tomorrow. I'm headed out with a couple of friends to a local ski slope that is inactive now because there's no snow. So we go out there to hike up the mountain and run down. And it's a great loop. It's a little less than 3 miles with a little over 1,000 feet of gain over the course of the first mile and a half. So it's a really great opportunity to get a lot of vertical training in a short amount of time. Like I mentioned before, my buddy Matt Klein is doing the Triple Crown, and he did Tahoe 200 2 years ago, and he has repeatedly said that that training route is one of the best training circuits you can do to train for Tahoe. So I'm taking his word. We are getting out there every week, every other week, trying to get a lot of vert and a lot of miles under our belts. So for tomorrow, the plan is to do 10 loops, which will come out to 27 miles or so with 10,000 feet of gain. That's a loose goal for me. He's pretty set on doing 10. He's again doing the Triple Crown, so I do want to be conservative and just really listen to my body and not trash it too hard. So I would be happy with 8 loops on the day for tomorrow. The weather forecast is horrendous, so we're gonna get to try a lot of gear and try a lot of suffering. So it should be a good time. So what I'm going to start doing now is I'm going to start packing my pack on these long runs so that it's going to replicate what's happening in Tahoe. That was one of the tips that I've heard directly from Candace Burt. She's shared that on the Tahoe 200 Facebook page, and then I've heard it from other runners as well, that it's really important in training to practice with a full pack, because if you don't and then you show up to do 200 miles with a pack that weighs 8-10 pounds, whatever, that is going to put a lot of stress on your body that you could have trained for. And so I'm going to start training with it. I have been doing it obviously with my longer self-supported efforts like the Grand Canyon and out in Pennsylvania, and it definitely feels heavy. So I want to start doing more of it. I'm going to commit to doing it every weekend on the back-to-backs, and then eventually build up to doing it on all of the training efforts. So what I want to do is read you the required list for Tahoe 200. This is in the Tahoe 200 manual. That is a book. Thank you, Candace Burt and her team. They made it so easy to prepare for this race. There's so much information in the manual. So here is the required list that they have. You can find it online. Just Google Tahoe 200. The website will pop up, and then you can find a link for the race manual. Okay, so for the required list, these are the items that have to be in your pack at all times. You as a runner have to have it. You can't have your crew, what's called mule it for you. They can't carry it for you. All right, so the list is a jacket with a hood, a long sleeve layer, for example, a long sleeve shirt or a light puffy jacket. Pants, it must cover the legs entirely. Emergency bivvy, the race will provide a foil or lightweight. And then a hat or buff and gloves, headlamp or waist lamp and extra batteries, GPX tracks on phone, watch, or device, emergency blanket, whistle, 500 extra calories, spot tracker that is rented from the race for live tracking. They will provide. Trackers do not need to be carried by pacers. And then there's also on the next page a list of recommended items. So I'll read that to you right now. Collapsible cup for liquids at the aid station because the race is cupless. A waterproof rain jacket with a hood. Microfiber synthetic wool or waterproof pants, lightweight pants. Watch the weather forecast. Next one is water purification method, tablets, filter bottle, or a SteriPen. Much of the water is drinkable without filtering up high. Next is an ID, personal ID with name and age. A list of emergency contacts with allergies and medical conditions listed either laminated or in a plastic baggie. An extra headlamp. Ziploc baggies for any wipes you might use on the trail. All runners are required to carry out all wipes. You can leave them at the aid station, but number 2 waste should be buried in a 6-inch hole. That is reiterated several times in the race manual. Okay, next is extra batteries for your headlamp. The ability to carry 40 ounces of water, for example, a 40-ounce bladder or 2 20-ounce bottles. And then lastly, battery pack for charging your phone or watch. So, tomorrow I'm going to focus on just the required items, and I want to do that for at least half of the day. I'm figuring that we're going to be out there 8 to 10 hours or so I want to practice carrying all of the weight for at least 4 hours. So I'll walk you through the items that I have laid out here. I'll show them, bring them out on the screen so you can see what everything's looking like. Okay, first off with my pack. So I am going with the Ultra Aspire. It's 14 liters in capacity for all the pockets and the gear, stowaways. I really like it. I've been using it for the last couple of months. I find it's very comfortable, and I actually keep finding new pockets in this pack. So it's kind of it's a fun surprise every time I start digging around. But what I really like about it is the pockets are easy to reach. I found with some of the packs it's hard to like reach behind or on the side to reach some of those pockets where you're storing some food, but I haven't had any of those issues with this pack. And what's also nice is on the bottom there are these bungee cords that allow you to stow your trekking poles if you're not using them. I think for Tahoe 200 I'm going to be using them the entire time, but on some of these other run ventures that are local, I'll be using it for a little bit and then I'm able to stow them away. So this is the pack that I'm using. There's a 2-liter bladder that comes with it, and then the other thing that I really like about the pack is that the pockets, these big pockets in front, can fit the a half of a liter of the filter bottle that I have that is the Katahdin B3. So we'll start with that. That's the first one over here. I started using these this summer on some local run ventures where I needed to filter water, and they work so well. I like it better than the Sawyer Mini. These are a lot faster to use. It's just a soft flask and then the filter screws right into it. So I'll either fill this up, stick it into the front of the pack and drink from it, or what I've been doing most recently is filling it and then squeezing the filtered water into the bladder, which has worked out really well, and then this collapses and stow it into the pack. So that is the filter bottle that I will definitely be using for Tahoe and this summer on the other adventures I'm doing in the Adirondacks and the White Mountains. Okay, next is I'm bringing my own tracker just to practice, throwing in some weight there. I know that they don't have it's not the same as the one we'll be using in Tahoe. They give us we're required to use their tracker, which is a Spot, but this is just to put a little extra weight into the pack. So that is the tracker. I've got a cheap headlamp that I will always keep in my pack. I do have a Kogala, bigger, the big waist lamp that I will be using for the overnight portions out in Tahoe, and that has the heavy battery pack. So eventually I will be, on those night runs that I'm practicing, obviously be using the Kogala. But you're always supposed to keep a headlamp in your pack, so I'll always keep one of these cheap guys in there. So that's the headlamp. This is not required, but I'm for sure bringing it, is the GoPro to document the journey. Can't go without that. Okay, so layers, right? So I've got a waterproof jacket, which will definitely be coming to Tahoe with me. I think it will be useful when the temperatures dip at some point, obviously, or when it rains. But what I found so far is that I get really hot in a rain jacket. It doesn't matter what kind of rain jacket it is. That's just the way it's been working for me. So tomorrow, what I'm going to try is a cheap rain poncho. So I've seen this posted in the Tahoe 200 group. Runners have shared that these cheap rain ponchos work great because they can go over your entire pack, and there's actually a little bit more ventilation, so they're cooler than a rain jacket. So we'll see. If it doesn't work, it cost me $3. I got a 5-pack on Amazon, and we'll see what happens. I'm kind of excited to try that. So the rain poncho will definitely be useful tomorrow in the rain, because it's supposed to rain a lot. Okay, the next item that I actually just got off of Amazon, this was recommended by Candace Burt. It's called the Life Bivy, and this is, I mean, you can see how small it is. It fits in the palm of my hand, and this has been recommended not only by her, but several other runners in the group, and other runners that I know really like this. So this is an alternative to the Mylar blankets, and it's supposed to be a lot better to use because you can climb into it. It's an actual bivy. So rather than the Mylar blanket where it can be flying all over the place, and once you use it one time, there's no way you're gonna fold it again. So this bivy is supposed to be a lot warmer, a lot more effective. It's obviously a little bit bigger than the Mylar blanket, weighs a little bit more, but I think in the long run, I will take the safety over the cheapness of a Mylar. So that'll be going into the pack. I always carry a little first aid kit that I put together in my pack. I always carry this with me no matter where I'm going. There's Band-Aids, gauze, some medical tape. I do have the Mylar blanket in there for just every other day. Tampon, hey, you never know. You may need it, or a friend may need it. And I do have some business cards for Sasquatch trail running, because you also never know when you're going to give them out. So that'll be coming with me. I'm sure that'll be reworked on what is in and out of that little first aid kit by the time we get to Tahoe. Obviously buff, gonna have a million of these. The collapsible cup, this will just hook on to one of the hooks on, or one of the straps on my pack. Sasquatch Trail Running, these are available in the Squat Shop, you can check it out, sasquatchtrailrunning.com. This I am really excited to try, not on the mandatory list, it probably should be, but this is Tri-Glide. This was recommended in a ladies Facebook group to help with chafing. So I'm excited to try it. I've always used the stick form, which does not work well when you're wet and sweaty. So I'm excited to try this because it's a spray-on. So we'll see what happens tomorrow with that. Okay, layers. So long sleeve layer. This has been my go-to. It's a Mountain Hardwear long sleeve shirt, super light, very breathable, bright colors, which is also useful for if there's hunting season going on here in New Jersey. That'll be my long sleeve jacket. I've got a Smart Wool light windbreaker. It's got the hood on there. So I just started using Smart Wool this past year. A friend of mine, Robin, who's on my crew, she's a Smart Wool fanatic, and she has highly recommended the Smart Wool products. Once I started using them, I've been hooked. Super breathable, dries really quick, and this jacket, it just seems like no matter what the temperature is, it's a great, it's really great. It's worked really well for me. So this is my my jacket with the hood. The pants. So I've tried some rain pants, and again, I just roast them. I get so hot. So I'm gonna try these guys out. These are recommended, once again, in the Tahoe 200 Facebook group. These are the Frog Togs. That's what they're called, Frog Tog rain pants. And what I like about them is they're a little bit wider. So my thought process is, you know, when you're in the race or out on a run, these will be a little bit easier to get on over your shorts or over your shoes if you don't want to take everything off. I tried a pair of Ultimate Direction rain pants, but they were so narrow at the ankle and I was frustrated just putting them on at home, and I was thinking this is not going to work out on the trail. So again, this will probably be trial and error. I'm going to find out. I don't know. We'll see if I'll try them tomorrow, how they work. So these are the pants. They're also super lightweight. And let's see, what else we got? We got gloves, Boku gloves. These are those convertible ones where the mitten goes over the fingers. These are Boku brand. And this guy, the trowel, this was on the suggested list. If you know, you know what this is. So that'll come in handy. Hope I don't have to use it too many times, but I do need to practice, right? You got to practice all the gear. So digging the 6-inch hole for that. And then I picked up one of these guys. This is just a, the sizes on this, it's really small, maybe half of a liter in size. It's a waterproof stuff sack. So I'm planning on stuffing and compressing the clothing items into this. So that'll help conserve some space in my pack. So that's kind of the rundown so far on the gear that I'm working on. Obviously, I know over the next 15 weeks it's going to change. So just wanted to share that with you. And tomorrow's going to be a great test. The weather forecast is on and off rain all day. We're going to be out there, like I said, for 8 to 10 hours. So it's going to be a great opportunity not only to suffer and train, but also to practice using some other gear. In terms of the other run ventures that I have coming up, in a few weeks, I'm headed up to the Adirondack High Peaks with my friends Jessica Saveo and Kaylin Hopkins. We are taking on the Bob Marshall Traverse. So the Bob Marshall is about 30 miles or so with about 15,000 feet of gain, and it covers about 14 of the Adirondack High Peaks, which there's 46 of them. It's going to be intense. I'm excited for it, a little bit nervous. I think we're all, the three of us, it's a very big goal for the three of us, but we also have big goals that we're training for. So I think all three of us are excited for that. 4th of July weekend, I'm headed up to the White Mountains with one or two of the crew members for Tahoe 200, and we are going to do the Presidential Traverse. And that, again, will be a lot of climbing, a lot of rocks. That's probably only the one thing it's tough to replicate here on the East Coast. We have so many rocks and roots from, it's going to look different and feel different than what the trails at Tahoe would be like, but we do have the elevation. You just have to go out and look for it. So those are a few of the run ventures coming up. Other than that, I know I'm going to be spending a lot of time in the Hudson Valley area in New York. There's so many great mountains out there. Bear Mountain, Anthony's Nose, Breakneck Ridge, all up and down either side of the Hudson River. Storm King as well is a great training ground. So I'm going to try to get out to the mountains as much as I can. From this point out, I'm going to cut down on the speed training. Thank goodness. I really hate track workouts. I really don't enjoy them. So swapping those out for doing just a very specific vert training run. So that'll likely be either at Mountain Creek or in the Hudson Valley area on the local mountains. And just sprinkling in more of these long run ventures. The goal is just to be time on feet and to really practice training, practice gear, practice nutrition, and practice suffering and having a good time. So I think on the next vlog I'll talk a little bit about nutrition, and I can give a recap on how this training run goes tomorrow out on the mountains. So thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you out on the trail soon.